So today is the last day of the month, so let's talk about the books that I've been reading and, well, that I've read. And I'm going to show you some books I received, not all, but some. Um, I'm trying to buy less books unless I like the author, like it's a new book from author I like, or I read a book by that author and okay, I enjoy it, so I buy it. And so let me show you some books. This one received today is Chinamierville Railsea. I don't care about the man itself. It truly is not, for me, not a good person, but in terms of writing, I cannot deny that he is a good writer, and this edition is pretty good with, well, this artwork from Les Edwards, and it's signed, and this is Railsea. So as of today, I've got all over his books in these editions by Broken Binding. Plus, there is one book I don't know there was ever, which is a London, and the new book Rouse that is going to be released in September. I already pre-ordered, so that's it. Now I'm currently on a way to buy some books, what you call incense punk. I read some, I enjoyed them, so I I thought, okay, let's try. One of those authors is Yuval Kordov, and this is his trilogy that he wrote, Dark Legacies, and this is The Hand of God, All of Our Sins, and The World Come. Talking about Incense Punk, I did get. There were others, but I don't remember where I. Well, they are here. Sorry. Jerusalem Passage by Andrew Gillsmith, and The New Patriots by Jake Terrill. There are more, but I believe I've put them in some place, not here. So when I read them, you will know. I bought this book as well because of the theme, which is same theme, Saint Elspeth by Wick Welder. And this one I bought because of the cover, to be honest, and the grimdark, which is Empire of the Dam by Jackson Simiana. Then finally, to show you the books that I've purchased, let me just put here. Within the Incense Punk, I find out about one author, which is S. Kirk Pierchala. And she writes, she has like a series written. There are 7 books. So far there are 6 out. 7 is coming this year, probably next year. I don't know. And is going to be conclude this series. And this series is Beyond Cascadia. And book 1 is Echoes Through Distant Glass. This is a very beefy book. The second one, even bigger, Eclipse Rising. Book 3, it's A Solitude of Light. This one was the one that it has some elements of this Incense Punk. I believe most of them have some kind of post-apocalyptic stuff mixed with other things. And this one, you've got Archest Dawn, Stare at the Sun. Again, all of them are very big, almost 500 pages each one. And finally, Shadow Minds. So 6 books. I'm really looking forward to read this book as well. And that's it that I received, that I'm going to show you. I did get a couple of others here and there, but either they are not that well, they are already stored or something like that, but those are the ones that I'm really looking forward. This one I will wait until the seventh book comes out and then read it, but for now I'm going to read a short story collection by her, which is Powers and Principalities. Principality, yes. It's a short stories collection. This is going to be read, and let's start with that after I finish all the Old Gods Awakens by Donald Tyson. This is a short story collection published by Weird House Press. It's simple here. Weird House Press, which focus on weird fiction, and this is a short story collection about Cthulhu and other old ones and so on. You've got all of these stories here, all by the same author. And then what's most interesting is there is every short story has like a small painting, and it really enhances what I'm reading. I'm also finishing Ronald Malfi Black Mouth. I'm on page 173, halfway there, so let's see. And then this one I will not consider finish until I finish, but I'm reading slow pace. It's philosophical more than, which is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I already read 130 pages, so 70 pages to go, but this is going to be slow because it's not considered, like normal stuff. Today is the 30, probably going to finish this one as well, which is Claymore book 11. Now, in terms of the books I read 10 books, not counting that one, which I did not finish, but let's hope. I read 10 books, and to be honest, it's one of the best months I've read in the last few years. Not good in terms of quantity, but good in terms of quality. Let's start with Claymore. Claymore, I read volume 8, 9, and 10, and I'm enjoying so much of them. I'm really enjoying the stories. Grimdark, very disturbing, and very. I didn't knew that they went that place. I didn't watch the anime, so I didn't know what to expect. But I really enjoyed this story about these claymores and the secrets behind them. And then let's start with the books that I've read, and my least favorite, surprisingly, was 9 Minutes by Jacqueline Drucker, which is a post-apocalyptic novel regarding, there are some terrorists that using bombs and nuclear bombs, and they trigger them on Earth. And basically, as you probably aware, what the effects of that nuclear bombs do. And so the story is about this woman trying to survive and save her daughter. Story itself is not good because it passes a lot of time doing nothing, and I thought that the ending was quite bad. The story itself is not good. I've read stuff from her and I really enjoyed, but this one was not my favorite because I could not connect with her or any other survivor. I would say that this is one of my least favorites by her. But don't be scared by this. Imagine that you like to watch sci-fi stuff in the Sci-Fi Channel. This will be pretty good. 71 out of 100. Then we've got Jason Aspash and Nicole Legionnaire, The Galaxy Edge. This is book 1, and this is one of the books that I hope to read in terms of my reading challenge for this month on military sci-fi, and it took me a while to get into this book, and unfortunately I could not get that invested on the books. And I thought, okay, maybe I will read a second book, but 18 euros by a paperback, I will not pay for that. So that's it. I don't read ebooks, so to me that's out of the question. Either way, it's pretty good. I really enjoy them. Some aspects of the novel, but the overall story, it didn't grab me. I mean, the characters didn't grab me. The way they talked didn't grab me. probably they were thinking about more real life military stuff, and but the problem is how they treat the other soldiers that are fighting for them as well. I didn't enjoy that kind of stuff. I didn't enjoy the story itself. Nothing against the authors. They are Americans and they should praise their country. And but it shows here, my although it's not technically United States, but you understand because in the end he explains that. But it's a good military sci-fi novel, but I'm not paying $18 for each book that comes after for a paperback published by Amazon. Yeah. Then we've got Statues. I gave this 73 out of 100. Statues by Junji Ito. This is the latest book he released, and so far I read everything by him. One of my favorite manga or manga, well, definitely my favorite manga horror, and one of my favorite manga writers. Stories are good, as well, all of them, and I really enjoyed. Then we've got Penumbra. Yeah, then we're going to the good stuff, the stuff that I gave 5 stars. And the first one is Penumbra. Penumbra is a tale by H.R. Graves, which for a long time, as I was reading the book, I thought, was this written by I or IA or I, whatever you call it, because the way it's written is overwhelming, descriptive. The book itself is in one day or something like that, but it drags and drags and drags and drags. But the imagery, it's good, the feelings are good, the book itself, the monsters are excellent. I don't know where the second book is coming, or sorry, going with this tale, but I enjoyed the novel. My problem was with the pacing, so slow because of the comparisons and so on. Then we've got John Van Stry, Standalone, Wolf's Hounds, Book 1. This was my first read of the month, and I really, really loved this book, so much that I bought the other 5. This one deals with this guy, which is a normal person, and living in far future, and he's thrown into, well, he does some bad stuff because he's part of the gang, and unfortunately he goes to this, the judge is, okay, you are going to the military. The judge is his father, so there was some interesting there. And then a revolution happens, and this revolution, well, you can see the point that the author is trying to do is like a communist stuff. And fortunately these soldiers are in stasis, so they are not, well, they not aware of this, but they are the guardians of the nobles, the emperor itself, and so they are unaware of this, that this is happening. After 10 years, their slumber wakes up, and then they wake up in this new world, in space, and so they learn that this is happening, and so they must travel back to Earth, to the planet. The main planet is not called Earth, and to kill or to revive the emperor and the nobles and so on. And so the story deals with that. It is because this guy was the new guy that appeared on that ship, and so the the captains of the ships decided, okay, let's use him as like let's try to say that he is a noble, and he is the one that we are fighting for, because and no one knows about him, so maybe let's do like that. And unfortunately, or unfortunately not unfortunately, but and then the story progresses with him being taught how to be a noble, how to be a fighter, and so on. There are important characters in the novel. Some are female, some are male. Some may consider this a bit misogynist, but I don't think that's the case here, because the woman depicted here is very powerful, is a strong woman, okay, and their relation switched up. It's very interesting. I really enjoyed this back and forth between the main character and her, and I bought the sixth book, so I want to read them as well. So I gave this one 90 out of 100. Then the last two, the second book of the month is, I just finished this, and is Mia Dahlia Estate Sale. I just put a review on Goodreads, and it's basically a story about, it's a story, and within that story there are short stories connected in some way to the main story. So basically we follow Anastasia and Pavel, which Anastasia is, she's a noble, the daughter of the Czar. I don't remember if it said directly it's that, but whatever, because they gave Romanov or something like that. The name is different. So Anastasia Romanov, in real life, she died by the communists. Communists killed her family in 1918 or 1919. I don't remember when the revolution was happening. All of her family was killed, the Khazar and so on. Here, she survived. She marries a guy, which is Pavel, and Pavel has a bird, which is very cool character that appears from time to time. This bird. But what I mean by this, sorry, I'm regressing. So basically, he is into occult and other dark arts. But he is a nice guy, just learning, and he wants to. He learns about alchemy, about talking with spirits and so on. So he talks about everything that connects to dark arts. We meet Alistair Cromwell and other guys that were involved in that psychic activity or psychic revolution that were happening between late 18th centuries to the 20th century. 19th to 20th century, yeah. And they were involved on it. Even Agatha Christie has novels with dealing with that. And so basically he's learning about that, about immortality and so on. They travel between places. They go to France, they go to England, they go to Germany, they go to Iceland, they go to USA, and they gather small things like a cup, a clock, and so on. So the story basically is a chapter about their tale, and then in between there is like a small short story, today or not in the same day or the time frame of the main novel. After basically when she died, Anastasia died, and they had a yard sale, and people bought stuff from her home or stole, and so the story focused on those particular items like a clock, a cup, and among a telephone, among other items that they had, and the consequences of those items within those persons. So each story basically, if there is a clock, and there is a story about that clock and the persons that receive the clock or buy the clock and so on. So it's very interesting because the stories are connected and draw something about the purpose of the item and the effects on the person, either good or bad. So it's a short story collection dealing with a major story about Anastasia and Pavel. I really enjoyed this. This is a love story. There is some ore, but not that many, but it's a love story. I really, really love it. 93 out of 100. I enjoyed it so much that I really bought everything by her that I could get my hands on. And then finally we've got Strange Buildings by Uketsu. This is the third book that I read by him, so I caught up with his stuff. And then there is one more coming in the near future, which is called Strange Maps. This is a sequel of the other one. Strange Buildings is the sequel of the Strange Rooms, Strange Pictures. No, not Strange Pictures. Strange Houses. This is a sequel of this. Basically, we have the main author, which is investigating some houses. There are 11 short stories, and then in the end, there is like exposition of the things that connects all of these stories, because all of these stories are connected in some way. Either it's a room, either it's a person, a story, a company, something like that. So you've got pictures everywhere. So it's again the same format of the other book. I really love this book. I gave it 93 out of 100, and it's my favorite book of the month and the favorite book by Uketsu. I'm really looking for what he's going to do on the third book, which is Strange Maps. I don't know if it's going to be connected or not to this one, because this story it's ended, so nothing really must be said, but it's a mystery, and we have a main character and so on, and I really love this story. Some, as I read, I wrote the connections that I could get on, others I could not, and that was amazing to be drawn into the stories themselves. So yeah, that's it for me. Book of the month, close, and the third one. This next month I'm going to show you what I'm going to read. I'm going to read like, I'm going to be different. I'm going to choose 4 or 5 novels at the most, and then read whatever I want, because I try to read military sci-fi. As you can see, I read 3 military sci-fi. I end up finishing one book, which is called The Strange, which I could not read the book at all. I was bored to death, and that led me to this month, between, I don't know, 7 or 8 until like the 18th of June, sorry, I could not read. I read it like 5 pages a day, 10 pages a day. Then I gave up because I was not investing on story. I was bored to death about the book, and it's the first thing I have in 3 or 4 years. So yeah, that's it for me. I will do that video afterwards. Thank you and have a great day.